What's up YouTube? My name is Lucas, also known as the artist Aeonya, and today I'm going to share with you my top 10 tips on how to get your first 10k monthly listeners on Spotify. So I've launched Aeonya exactly 1 year ago, and I wanted to take this opportunity to create this video here and share all my best tips with you so you can do the same. And I was actually a lead singer in a rock band here in Switzerland that I had to leave after 10 years. And I was really struggling with it because in my mind, my musical career was over. I was just a singer. I've never played any other instruments besides the drums. And singing and the drums, they don't fit so well together alone. You need guitars, you need bass, and so on. But then when I was on a long holiday with my girlfriend, I found new inspiration and I thought to myself, what if I just started playing the guitar and do it all myself? And this was the beginning of Aeonya. I started this journey. I bought a second-hand guitar. I learned the first chords and I wrote my first song. If you find yourself in a similar situation where you really want to create music but you're alone and you don't know how, you might want to stick around to the end of this video, and I'm going to share with you all the tips and all the ways I have done it. So without further ado, let's jump in the 10 best tips to create a Spotify following of 10k monthly listeners. So tip number 1. You need to create a strategy. I know it sounds utterly boring to go to the drawing board and just come up with a couple of bullet points of what you want to achieve with your music, but it's actually something that will guide you along the way and be your North Star. It will prevent you from quitting music because you're gonna write it down. It's a commitment and it will help you along the way. So my goals were actually very simple. I had 3 goals in mind when I started this project. I wanted to write and publish 5 songs within 1 year on Spotify so I can then move over and promote them. My second goal was I wanted to have at least one song that reaches the 10k streams mark within 1 year, and I wanted the total streams of 50k within 1 year. Now it's 1 year and we have actually doubled this number, and we had over 100k streams on Aeonya, which is a number I'm super proud of, but it took me a long time to get there. It was really a lot of sweat, a lot of hard work, and a lot of struggle to get there. So it makes me even more proud when I look at this number now. And my final goal was to get some radio plays. And also this dream came true whenever I dreamt about becoming a musician. For me, knowing that my song is playing on the radio was just this magical moment that I never thought would happen. And it actually happened. We listened it together with friends and family and my girlfriend in the living room, and my song came on air, and I was super proud of it. Tip number 2, create a logo and cover art. Now, I'm not a designer at all. I suck at designing. I have 2 left hands, but I tried it anyway. I just drew it on a notebook and it looked like crap, right? So I was super frustrated and I didn't know what to do. But then I found this girl within my network who actually is a professional designer, and it was someone I worked with in the past. And I just hit her up and asked her if she was down to designing a logo for my new project Aeonya. And she actually did it for a very reasonable price. So I paid her $200, but she not only designed my logo, which I've grown to love so much over the year now, she also designed cover art for me that was scalable. And with scalable, I mean, it's a cover art that essentially stays the same all the time. I can just adjust the colors of the cover art, so I can adjust them to the vibe of the song that I'm releasing. So it looks the same, just with different colors, and it actually matches the vibe of the songs. And on my Spotify page and on my Instagram, it actually looks pretty cool. So I encourage you to do something similar. It is super easy to do, super easy to produce a lot of songs and use the same cover art. It looks very great and it actually helps you from saving money that you can spend on gear and that you can spend on promotion later on. Tip number 4. Don't exaggerate and spend too much money on expensive gear. There is so much high-end, high-quality stuff out there that you actually don't need in the beginning. I started off with GarageBand, with a $100 microphone, and with a $200 electric guitar that I bought secondhand, right? And I wrote my first song on GarageBand, and it actually turned out pretty well. You can go listen to it. It's called Burn the Bridge. And when you compare it to the song that I just released, there's hardly any difference, right? I upgraded ever since. I'm using now Logic Pro X, and I'm using a bit of a more expensive microphone now, but you can hardly tell the difference, right? So you don't need expensive gear. Look up your eBay, look up your Tutti or whatever it is, and you can buy a microphone for $100. You can buy an interface to connect the microphone to your laptop, very cheap, and then you can buy a guitar or whatever instrument you wanted to play. You don't even need to play an instrument, right? You can do it all in GarageBand. And I learned GarageBand actually on YouTube. I watched 5 videos and it gave me enough information to get started, and then I just learned it along the way. You will run into problems. You know, you will look up another video, it fixes the problem, and you get better and better and better the more you use it. So just start now and don't think too much about what gear you want to use. Tip number 5, songwriting. So when it comes down to songwriting, I just used my stories, right? There is enough struggle in your life, I'm pretty sure of it, and every struggle is the foundation or lies the foundation for a very good song. I'm not a poet or anything like this. When it comes down to find the right words, I'm getting a lot of inspiration by watching movies. You know, for example, I think I took one line of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit where it says, "When it hurts, then you know it was real." Or I think the line is, "Why does it hurt so much? Because it was real." And this line just connected with me so much, and I wrote it down in a notebook so I could later on use it in a song. I didn't use the exact same line, but I used the vibe of it, right? And this really helps your songs to connect with other people's, because chances are, if it connected so much with you, it probably connects with someone else out there. So use lines, creative, cool lines that you love, and just adapt it to the context of your song. And another thing I wanted to mention about songwriting is when you're done with the song, then just leave it be and let it sit, or put it in the fridge if you want for a couple of days, and then listen to it one more time with or a couple more times with fresh ears. Listen to it in the car, listen to it on your phone, show it to friends, and really if there is anything, if it's just a word or if it's a line or if it's a guitar part or drums, whatever, that bothers you after listening to it over and over again, change it. Because if it starts bothering you already by listening to it 100 of times, then it will also bother your audience, right? So change it and don't release until you think, okay, now I'm really satisfied with it and I love this track. Number 7, create your accounts and set them up the right way. So I know everyone is saying you need to produce a lot of content, you just need to publish videos like 4 times a day and so on. And there is some truth to it, but in the beginning, you really want to make it look nice. You're building a brand here, and if you're just dropping garbage on people, they will actually ignore it, or in worst case, they will unfollow you. And this is not what you want. You want to make them feel great about your music. So put some thought in how you're going to set up your account. It should be in line with the vibe you want to give off with your music as well. So if you're making, I don't know, dark pop or something really dark and nasty, you want your Instagram page also to look dark and nasty, right? And then number 8, promotion. And this is probably the biggest and most important part that most artists fail to get to the 10K monthly listeners, because If you don't promote your song, nobody's going to listen to it, right? I've been there, I've uploaded songs and I didn't get any streams because nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. Maybe your close friends and your family, they care. But when it comes to people you've never met before, they won't listen to your song unless you just put them in their faces or in front of their faces, and they practically have to listen to it. So I have 3 main ways that I used to get strangers to listen to my music. And the first way that actually really moved the needle was playlisting. But with playlisting, I'm not only mean to submit your songs to curators, I mean actually build your own playlist. So I'm a Spotify curator now on Submit Hub. You can submit your song to me, but I want you to encourage you, build your own playlist and become your own curator, right? And it's actually not so hard to do. You make a great playlist, you make an awesome artwork, and you promote it. You promote it with ads. Everyone is talking about ads, and it's actually the single best way to promote your music and to promote your playlist. And the thing is, if you use ads to promote your music, it's super hard to do, right? It's super hard to do to get a good cost per click, right? Sometimes it costs you over $1 to get a stranger to listen to your music, and that's way too much, right? You're not gonna reach 10K monthly listeners with this cost per click. So you wanna send them to a playlist that you have created, you have the power over it, with a bunch of other songs that already work, right? And then you're gonna blend in your song, and this actually brings down the cost per click in the beginning. And unless you have a hit, and it's with a hit, I mean, it's not a hit, you know, like a big million, I don't know, streams hit or whatever, but it's something that gets some traction. You don't use your money for this song, right? Use your money for the song that actually gets some traction. And it takes some time and it takes some practice to get there. And until you get there, I want you to use your own playlist, right? And if you don't know how to set up ads, there's so many people on YouTube that promoting, you know, this work. They're doing it for you, or they're showing you how they do it even better, right? And then I'm not a marketer. I've never worked in a marketing agency or anything, but I learned it all by myself with a couple of videos on YouTube. So you can do the same. I'm pretty confident you can. If you're smart enough to do music, you're smart enough to set up an ad account and run some ads to your music. And the third way is also very effective. You create content, right? You create organic content. You take your song and you sing over it, you lip sync over it, or you write a nice hook to it and create a video, or even aesthetic videos. Go out there in the world and film the world and put your song over it, you know, match the vibe of your song with what you're filming, and chances are people are going to listen to it, like it, and go over to Spotify and stream it. And then do it over and over and over again. You can't stop the promotion, because this is actually what moves the needle from 0 to 100, from 100 to 1,000, from 1,000 to 10K and even beyond. And I'm pretty confident. I'm sitting now at 13K monthly listeners. I'm pretty confident there is much more to come if I just keep grinding. Number 9, keep producing. You know, don't stop, because as soon as you stop, when you release a song and you have a song that gains some traction, you can see how it goes up, right? And it stays there for a while, but after a month or so, it comes slowly down, right? And then once this tipping point comes, this is actually the moment where you want to have another release, you know, to shoot up and keep your streams growing. So that's why you need to keep producing, and you need to release at least like 4 to 6 weeks. If you can't make it, you have a tough job, you know, then try 8 weeks, try 10 weeks, whatever, you know, just keep producing, keep putting it out there. And with every song, you get faster, you get better, you get faster. And at some point you will be at the level of releasing consistently from 4 to 6 weeks, and you will get there. And then last but not least, the final tip, most important tip, is start now. This is my first YouTube video, and it's not professional at all. When I look at all the other creators, I see, you know, the effects that they're using, the high gear, the high-end microphone and everything. I cannot match this right now, But I'm starting. Today was the day I set up the camera and I'm speaking to you now. It's actually a lot of fun. I love it. I will do it again. And this is the journey, or the start of the journey of this YouTube channel, you know. And maybe you're seeing this 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the line, and I've grown to a follower base of 10K or even beyond that. That's my goal right now, right? And I'm just starting here, so cut me some slack if this wasn't the best and most professional video. I still tried to give everything for you, and I left out a lot of stuff because there's so much that happened within this first 12 months, and I will come back to you with more detail to every single point that you can then use for your music promotion. So if you loved that video, please leave it a like. If you want to hear more of it, just follow my channel. And I'll see you soon. Peace.